take a little chip.
A red cooler. Your standard red cooler. Doesn't even have the wheels on it. You probably have something just like it sitting in your garage or man cave or she shed. You know, wherever you keep the essentials. But take a closer gander, and you'll see this cooler, well, it isn't normal at all. This little cooler made a hockey parent a legend. 3 letters, RCR, Red Cooler Ronnie. Haven't met him? Don't worry. He's out there, literally.
Yeah, as far as Hall of Fame parents go, he is top 5. He's a top 5 guy.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
He's the life of the party. He is the party, and he creates the party.
He'd always have the corner of the parking lot. He'd be up there, first one there, last one to leave. He'd have his guitar, he'd have his instruments, he'd have the coolers.
Where did this guy come from?
If I'm telling you you're gonna go meet Ronnie, just go with it and prepare to have some fun.
Yeah, that's
You know?
Anyone who's had the pleasure of making the acquaintance of one Red Cooler Ronnie, they won't forget him. I promise you that.
He truly is one in a million, because I've never met anybody like Ronnie.
That's our boy RCR, the second nominee into the Hockey Parent Hall of Fame. I guess it makes sense that the Red Cooler Ronnie story starts out sounding, well, a lot like a Red Cooler Ronnie story.
Boy, how did the Red Cooler start? Bobby Funtime and Hollywood Lou, they were in Los Angeles, went on the back roads and wound up in the Grand Canyon. Comes back with a Duraflame log and cheese whiz. The red cooler's close to the fire, and the next morning he leaves his red cooler. He said, this red cooler's got one hinge left. Squeaks when you open it, and it's melted from being close to too many campfires. My suitcase is in worse shape than this cooler. I'm gonna ditch the suitcase and take the cooler. So the red cooler, excuse me, it wasn't my cooler at the time. Little did we know. And there's the red cooler again. That's how it all began. I think Trish probably thought I was nuts.
The red cooler became his luggage. He would fill it up with clothes. He would then go to the airport, duct tape it. And when he arrived at a conference or a trade show, he'd take his clothes out and he would put ice and beer in and welcome everybody who came.
Final Viking, where are you taking us?
Going to Orlando, please group 6.
Fast forward to Florida. Well, the red cooler's been around the world in multiple countries on most continents.
The number of miles has got to be in the thousands.
Asia to Europe, North America, South America.
The number of people isn't far behind.
When he wasn't packing his clothes in it, RCR usually had a cooler full of libations. Ronnie and that red cooler have been a mainstay in rinks across the state for years.
We moved to Eden Prairie at 3 or 4 years old. We got our kids on skates.
We live in Minnesota. We should at least let them try it. And then our kids got into the community and we just loved it.
I mean, he always says, well, I'm not a hockey guy. Well, he's a hockey guy.
The red cooler was there throughout hockey.
And it's like Cloquet, Blaine, Eden Prairie, Wyzetta. He's got like 4 or 5 just crews. His whole crew is there.
Telling stories and singing songs.
He became a staple in the state.
Again, he's another Hall of Famer. Whether it be hanging out at Eden Prairie waiting, we have an hour and a half practice, and he's brought his fishing rod over to go fish. You know, we had taken our team down to Chicago, and we were in a hotel, and the fire alarm went off. And literally, I walked out to the parking lot, brought the kids out, and Ron was sitting on the cooler, playing his guitar, singing Chicken Fried with my kids, or the kids, so.
He also took people out of, they only want to talk about, well, my kid's got 58 goals and plays on this line, and he knows this guy, and he's like, boo. You know, like, hey, what do you think of, Bob Dylan?
Whether we won or lost, he was there for the kids, and always, you know what, a loss is not a loss. Well, it's a loss until you get out into the parking lot, so.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt. There's so much in this world that make me...
Besides his red cooler, the other item Ronnie never leaves home without, his guitar.
So if you ever look in the back of Ronnie's vehicle, it's like drums, guitars, and like it's just music wagon in the back, and it becomes a big old-fashioned hoedown, but that's Ronnie.
He doesn't want anybody to miss out, and the sing-along was that way of finding somebody out there that he could find some sort of connection with.
If God forbid you decide to try and leave the party early, you can rest assured that Ronnie will have your walkout song ready.
He's famous for what's your walkout song?
John in the yellow hat is leaving the party, But he puts it all into the song, and he's smart enough to be able to just do that.
Red Cooler Ronnie doesn't have a happy place. He is a happy place. But it was a squirt tournament up in Fargo where Ron first became RCR.
Ronnie brought the red cooler, and at that point he had also started playing the guitar.
There was like only 4 or 5 teams staying in this hotel. Well, all 4 or 5 of those teams were the people that were there.
We're out in the lobby of a hotel, and another team joined us. By the end of the night, Ronnie was playing. Then it's probably going to be you're up till 2 a.m.
I mean, it was 5-6 hours of different teams playing. How'd you do? Come back, and Ronnie's still the glue.
All the mommies from the other team were dancing on the table. Our mommies were dancing on the table.
It was at least 60 strong, and he was the ringleader.
All, squirt parents from different communities that just came around, and ever since that point, he's never looked back.
If Red Cooler Ronnie has a Graceland, it'd have to be Roseau.
It was the Bantam tournament, which was actually the Stan Osby tournament named after my dad, and it's always the same weekend as Elvis's birthday.
It's Elvis's birthday. We gotta do something to celebrate Elvis.
We gotta do something tonight. I can't tell you yet what it is.
At midnight, Bobcat and I kind of slipped away. He didn't know this was coming, I don't think.
Well, lo and behold, he's got like Elvis suits and guitar, so him and I end up being Elvis lookalikes for the night.
And Bobcat in his little white suit, priceless. It was a little tight too.
Yep, as Johnny Cash would say, this traveling troubadour has been everywhere, man. But a few years back, life took him someplace he never wanted to go.
It was summer of 2016, and he said something about, I have a little lump here.
I went and got it checked out a week after I turned 50, and I thought it was gone because it was a lump from 6 months ago. I go in, I get it checked out, and I am told, a day or 2 before Christmas that I have squamous cell carcinoma, basically that I have cancer. I don't know, but doesn't sound so good. And, it's like, welcome to 50. And then I knew I was coming back from there and had to get down to business and talking about surgery and radiation, and take a deep breath there if you're all right with that. Take a pause, and then I could keep rolling if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the funny thing about hockey. You get as much as you give, and the community made real sure the guy who was always thinking about everybody else knew they were thinking about him.
He had to do, I think it was 6 straight weeks of chemo every day, 5 days a week in Rochester. So we had to basically make the drive, and I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it. And the doctor said, well, you never know, just put out a request. People might be able to help with a day or 2 and make the drive with you. And so I put out the, kind of a note, like if people want to help, would anyone be potentially open to driving a couple of days a week? And we had more drivers than we had days that we could drive them. So it was really nice.
It's hard to put into words, It really is. Just the how much people gave. Cancer touches everybody's life, and it's an incredibly powerful force to be reckoned with. And to have that community taking care of you is unreal.
Trisha, my love, chocolate so sweet. With you in my life, I am complete. Oh, I think he fixed my, you get those higher chord notes now.
Ronnie being Ronnie, when he did get out of the hospital, you know where he went first.
Okay, we made a decision that was going down to Mayo, and we were gonna have this all done at Mayo. Lo and behold, it's a girls' hockey tournament that weekend. I mean, what are the chances?
The girls were great. They had made signs. They all taped their sticks red for Red Cooler Ron. It was really nice.
We get out of the hospital at Mayo on Saturday and more or less go to the rink because the girls have a game Saturday night. And I got this tube coming out of my neck. I mean,
even with a tube of like stuff coming out of him, we went to the last game.
All right, I got my life in front of me. What do? Let's go to the rink. Let's go to a hockey game.
About halfway through the game, all of a sudden, everybody's like, Ronnie's here, kind of just gave the girls a pick-me-up because Ronnie is everybody's favorite.
The girls won the tournament. And, man. Rochester 51st Annual Hockey Invitation, Girls 12A 2017 champions. You know, they say truth is stranger than fiction. You just can't make this up. An eagle with the flag, 51 limp nodes. They had the 51st Annual tournament on there in quotes, and to live that experience coming off of my surgery and the girls winning that tournament, to be there and be part of that, it was almost like a miracle. It was just a dream, and it wasn't a dream though. It was all real. It all happened. It was an amazing memory.
That's Red Cooler Ronnie, Captain Positive, a human campfire sing-along song kind of guy, with one mission: bring people together.
Wish you were here, buddy. Wish you were here.
I know so many people that know him, and everybody has the same smile on their face when you say Red Cooler or Red Cooler Ron or RCR.
He brings people together, but he brings it in a kinship way.
Hey, this is RCR. This is known as my Statue of Liberty. Look, happy 4th of July, everybody.
Ronnie is there to remind us the party doesn't need to end, and that no one should ever be left out. Only time will tell if Ronnie has played Cancer's walkout song. Until then, if you're looking for RCR, just follow the sun and the songs. If you're lucky enough to find him in some hockey rink parking lot, it won't take long to realize Ronnie's story isn't about a red cooler after all. Nah, this story is about a heart of gold.
He's a real deal. He would do anything for anybody. Great friend, great guy, and we'll be friends forever.
I could just share with my kids, like, understand friendship, understand positive in your life, and just be a good human, right? And I think that's what he instills.
That's the big thing I appreciate about Ronnie. It's just, the guy cares about everybody,
The icon, the symbol that is the red cooler, is about bringing people together. It's about community, and when everyone's letting their flow down, letting their hair down, being natural, and having a brew or staying up a little bit later. And that's what really created some special memories over time around the Red Cooler.
Hey everybody, it's Red Cooler Ron, Trish. See you real soon in our universe.
Shine on, Ronnie. Shine on.